Fantastic, thank you.
This first one reads, Dear Lee and the Z's, recently I've been experiencing a deep feeling of loneliness, and even though I have lots of loving beings and people around, there's a deep craving for deeper connection. I find that it is easier to connect deeply at spiritual events and festivals as I feel more comfortable and confident in myself in these environments. However, I feel a fear of going out into the world and seeking connection as I sometimes lack a bit of self worth and confidence and not really knowing how to integrate into finding these more loving people, communities, and environments. When I do come across a possible connection, I find that I want to hold on to it so tight in fear of losing it that I often end up suffocating the relationship, and it's where my energy goes for the time being, and I find that I lose grounding in myself. I would love some words of advice or wisdom. Thank you.
Well, firstly, I love your level of self-awareness, and you're very honest and very vulnerable about what you shared with us. So congratulations for being able to recognize particularly the pattern that you might have around suffocating a relationship because you're holding on to it too tight. Firstly, I would like to say something to you that I think most of us will probably relate to. I also love being at a spiritual festival or a spiritual event, or a place where people are in joy, and I also can feel like a more, how would I put it? I don't even want to say amplified version of myself, but perhaps more open, because you go into an open energy field. I think what you have to remember here, and I understand there's some self-worth and some confidence issues to work on. I understand that. But try to remember that the way we respond to other people and places and atmospheres is never just about us. It's never just about us. It took me years to figure this out. I could walk you into a room right now of 6 cold, judgmental, mental people. People are very in their mind. I could say, go in there and chat to them for 10 minutes. You'd come out and you'd look a certain way. And then I could take you into a room with 6 open, warm, friendly, fun people. Send you in there for 5 minutes, you'd come out and you'd look completely different. So understand that the frequency, the environments that we go into have a huge effect on how much we can really bring ourselves to them. I've shared this story before that it was about 5 or 6 years ago that I went shopping at a mall here, like a shopping center here in America. It was near Christmas, and there was a part of me that had this memory of how I used to love to go Christmas shopping. I used to love going and buying gifts for everyone, and I would start in October. It was like a thing I did. And I was like, oh God, I can't do this anymore. I was walking around the mall feeling increasingly sick. But my mind had told me, oh, this will be fun. This will be like a throwback. It was not. I had to learn I had changed. And this was no longer an environment for me. And then I thought about it, and I looked around the mall, and I didn't see anyone smiling, didn't see anyone laughing, didn't really see anyone looking happy. And I was like, yes. It was just one of those, very true moments. So your self-worth and your confidence issues, the shadow of those is showing up in the part of you that wants to suffocate or hold on to the person. So I don't have you here on screen right now, so I can't ask you questions about your upbringing, but it feels to me that there was a withholding of love and of connection for you, that your needs weren't met. And sometimes parents aren't wired for what we need, and we get sent to them for that reason, or they're busy, or they don't, they're not ill-meaning, they just aren't equipped to give you what you needed. And if that creates a lack and a deficit in our personality structure, we can just keep replaying that wound. So what I would say to you is, recognize you are very sensitive to groups. So go into any group scenario wisely. choose where to go. Choose where not to go. You're like, no, I do not like that environment. And again, 3 years from now, you might try it again and it would be different. But at this stage, you're very sensitive to groups and you benefit from open groups. It would do you good to put yourself in as many open groups as you can and to try and train yourself that when you do find somebody, my advice would be, now find 3 or 4 more people. And you might say, but I've just found this person and I'm getting so much from them. Yes, but you also have a shadow of overly leaning on one person. So what you do is you go, great, there is friend number 1. Okay, now I'm going to continue my search and I'm going to get a few more going. And part of you might say, well, I prefer one-on-one. Yeah, but we're identifying that in a one-on-one scenario at the moment, you're a little codependent on them for energy. So you might just want to look into codependency as a theme, like what is driving codependency. You know, you can have a look online and see what the qualities of codependency are and why people develop them. But for you, what I would say is put yourself in more of those environments and communities, and it's often helpful to call out your behavior to people that you are in a relationship with. I did this just the other day to a friend of mine, actually. I checked something. I said something to them and I said, oh, I just want to check. That's how I speak. I'm quite direct with people I'm close with now. I did not used to be, but now I am. And I said, I was in no way meaning to offend you or be judgmental. And actually, it was great because the friend went, no, I really appreciated your honesty and your clarity. But it could have gone the other way because this is a fairly new person to me. And I was just checking. I was checking that my behavior wasn't jarring for them or was working for them. And so you might say to one of these new friends, you say, I get very excited when I meet a new person and I'm trying to learn not to be smothering. So if I do that, please just tell me. That way you've put it out on the table what the pattern of behavior is. You're inviting the other person to give you feedback and you're also exposing that. You're not keeping it hidden, so then it makes it harder for you to run hidden behavior through the interaction. So I would look at making sure you aim for 5 really good new friends in your life. Kind of let 5 be the number you aim for so that you're spreading the wealth. But also do put yourself in other environments and don't give yourself a hard time when you go into environments that aren't as open. You walk down the street in most places, people aren't that open, you know? I always pay attention when I go to new cities, like what's the vibe here? And I'm always struck when I go to a place where people feel calm or relaxed or more at peace. And then you go to other environments and you're like, wow, there's a lot of stress in this environment that everyone is running. So give yourself a break about how you feel when you're in groups. It's not uncommon to have a level of social anxiety, but recognize the group will have a huge influence because you warm up very well when you're around warmer groups. Expose the pattern of behavior verbally to any new friends and don't stop at 1. And you might go, but I want to get to know them really deeply. Well, you know that can be a shadow area for you. So you will get to know them over time, but we're not going to smother them in the first few months. We're going to try and give them some space. So we'll keep looking for some more people. I hope something I have said is helpful. And thank you for the honesty and the vulnerability and the self-reflection in your question. That was very, it's impressive that you have that quality. So congratulations and thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Lee Harris and I'm bringing my Energy Mastery 2-day workshop to London in September, but good news, we are also live streaming the workshop. We're going to see what themes come up for all of us. Where are we right now as a world, as individuals, and it's all designed to create more empowerment for you in your life.
Feeling the love and support and compassion from everybody, you don't find that just anywhere.
At the end of each of his channels, if I wasn't crying, I was radiating energy.
It makes me feel so loved. Like the love here is just so strong.
I will be workshopping a lot of people in the room, so we'll get to learn from each other, and I'll also be channeling the Z's. We'll have Devor Bozique accompanying me musically, and we'll do some mantras together too. So it's going to be a very full weekend. You can get the live stream so that you can watch live, but you'll also have a replay. So you'll have plenty of time to watch it if you can't make the timing or the days. we'd love to welcome you for this special live stream experience, my last workshop until at least the late 2026. So we're really looking forward to this one. Lots of love.